There was one time where I met up with Andrew. I had heard this song, this 10-minute long adventure song, and I was like, Andrew, you need to listen to this song, and we need to figure out something to do with this song. After that, we didn't really figure out anything to do with that song, but I think that really sparked our interest into making something as grand as this.
Fast forward a year, I'm in Adam's Family in 2017, and it's about 5 minutes before I'm supposed to go on stage for the last tech rehearsal, and all of a sudden I get this idea, and I'm like, oh, okay, I can't do anything about that right now. I go on stage, I do the number, and the second I get off stage, I know I have my laptop in the dressing room, so I book it over there.
He came into the dressing room one show and like just told me about this dream he had. So he was typing away like in between scenes and stuff, and I was watching and just like seeing what he was doing because I thought it sounded cool, like really interesting.
I think about half the ideas that I had that weekend didn't end up making it into the final cut, but the other half of them did. One of the ideas was have this story take place in a realm where there are no superheroes at all. And I guess at the time it was a novel idea.
This was even before like, you know, Infinity War had come out. The idea of all the superheroes dying was just like, it was fresh. And then I went and told Jeffrey about it. Jeffrey, who plays Terry McGinnis. We both agreed that it sounded really cool. And so we moved forward from there.
I remember several nights at Barnes & Noble or Starbucks or In-N-Out where the two of us, or Jordan included, would just be talking about this whole thing.
Scenarios and the story kind of started expanding. I brought Megan in because I needed a female voice in there. There were a lot of female characters and female scenarios, and I'm like, a guy shouldn't be writing this.
Being able to be in the process of the writing and showing, like, coming up with all the ideas with everybody else. Usually you're not on that side of it when you're an actress or an actor in the film industry or even on Broadway or anything. Usually the writers write it and then you come in and you portray it. But being one of the writers, I was able to see that process and be like, hey, what about this? What about that? And it was a lot of fun. It made more personal.
I remember nights of making cue cards of how the story would go and laying it all out so we could envision everything that was supposed to be happening.
It was several sessions of like trying to figure out what would make these characters sound like humans. And also we wanted all the characters, all the heroes and villains to be relevant. We didn't want it to be one of those things where it's like clearly one character is the most focused on and the rest of them are just kind of afterthoughts.
Now in early 2018, Jeffrey, Megan, and I are all sitting at a meeting kind of looking at the story, and I'm kind of annoyed because at this point we still haven't come up with a name yet, and I didn't want to do Young Justice because that was already taken.
So I tried to think of other things that was a synonym of the Young Justice or what it would be, and what came to my mind was heir, like, you know, an heir to the throne or an heir to a company. These kids are basically the heirs to this legacy of these superheroes, so they're the heirs of justice. Da, 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 da.
I liked that name, and out of that meeting, Jeffrey goes and he has these ideas for the logos that he's going to use.
That actually took me quite a while. I actually have a Google Doc or Google Slides or something set up with all of the different logos that I tried. I felt this calling to create all the rest of the logos that you see in this show. I was trying to make it distinct enough where you could tell that it was just ours, but still pay homage to the original people that we're honoring.
2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, he comes up with all these logos and we pick a couple, and I was like, okay, we got something here.